Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Laurel. I am a queer, disabled young adult author. I also do some freelance writing and editing, and it's been a long time. The last video I put up was also a life update way back in May, and it's now November 26th as I'm filming this. So lots has changed, and I'm here to give you a quick update before I jump back into regular content, which is exactly what I said in May. And so let's just get to it. We moved. Yay! I'm in my library. Very exciting. We did finally sell our house and move at the end of September, and we have been spending the last 2 months unpacking, settling in, all the things. The whole house is not done, but we do have the library mostly done. My sunroom is mostly done, and you know, we're just taking it one room at a time and one piece of decor at a time, essentially. Sorry, I'm distracted by a cat on my desk. Do you want to say hi? Say hi. This is Willow. Yes, can I help you? Like my lip gloss? Say hi to the people. Where was I? So easily distracted by furry friends. So we moved. Super exciting. We are loving our new city. We're loving all the opportunities and activities and all the things that are here. It's super fun, and we are settling in really well. Something cool that's available now that I live here in this new city is that there is a writing group put on by the public library. And once upon a time, I was part of a massive like region-wide writing group that had, I don't know, probably over 100 members. And we had monthly meetings and guest speakers and all the things. But I have been missing that for a long time since we lived in our past house, because with my health, it was just too far a lot of the time for me to make the drive. So moving here, I was really excited to find a writing group. Currently it's on Zoom, but in the new year, we're actually going to be meeting at the library. So that's awesome, be able to actually sit in person. This group only has a handful of people, maybe like a dozen people. That's more than a handful. Maybe about a dozen people in it, but I'm really excited. I'm hoping that with us being in person, that means it's gonna grow a little bit, and I'm looking forward to getting some critiques from the other members in the group and helping their writing journey along as well. But that's not what you're here to hear about. You're here to hear about reading, writing, I assume. So in my last update, I mentioned how I was back on my Project Camp bullshit. If you are new here, I wrote a young adult author in 2020 and went through a whole bunch of revising and editing and drafts, and had a mentor, editor type of person help me along. And I queried for 5 months, I want to say, in, oh gosh, I should have looked all these things up before I stood here. I think 2022, I want to say, I queried for 5 months. And then I decided to shelve the project because a lot of the feedback I was getting was similar. It was a timeline issue, and it wasn't something at the time that I was prepared to take on. It kind of was like the whole basis of the story, and I wasn't ready to change the story on that deep a level. So I shelved it. I've tried to work on other projects, and I just keep coming back to Project Camp. It feels like something in my soul is telling me you need to see this through to the end. So in my May update, I mentioned how I was sending Project Camp to Katie Wismer for a manuscript evaluation. Highly recommend if you were on the fence about it. I know professional editing is a huge cost. Highly recommend Katie. My manuscript evaluation had way more depth and detail than I was expecting it to do, which was fabulous. And she was blunt, which is what I needed at this point after almost 4 years of working on this project off and on. I needed someone to be blunt. I needed someone to get to the point and say, listen, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. Of course, there was also a lot of positivity sprinkled throughout all of that, but I needed someone who wasn't a friend, who wasn't personally invested, to tell me what needed to be changed. So, got my feedback. I have not done my revisions yet, as I said, because I got that feedback late August or early September maybe, and we were moving at the end of September. So obviously there was no time between then and now really for revisions. So I'm going to be tackling those revisions very soon. I'm gonna have a whole separate video about that though, so I'm not gonna talk too much about that here. But that's the update on where I'm at with Project Camp. And then I also have a handful of other ideas percolating, other plot bunnies, if you will, things that I've even like outlined and started really deep diving into the brainstorming process that are definitely on my mind. But there has been a major shift for me that means I sort of need to really think about everything on like a bigger scale. And that is that I am actually debating self-publishing. So, shocking, I know. I have said from day one, from the time I was, I don't know, whenever I decided that I was gonna write books, I was probably like 10 or so. I had always said from day one that I wanted to be an author, I wanted to be published, and in my 10-year-old brain in the 90s, that was obviously traditional publishing, right? I mean, self-publishing, I'm not sure when that started to happen, but it obviously wasn't a thing that the average person knew about at 10 years old in the 90s. So since day one, I have wanted to be published the traditional way that authors get published and their book shows up on a bookshelf in the bookstore. And even once I started learning about self-publishing, probably when I came back to the sort of bookish space and started my very first booktube channel, which is still up. You can find it if you poke around. That was way back in 2014, I think, or 2015 maybe. So since I entered that bookish space again in that time period, obviously I learned about self-publishing and indie publishing and how that whole world works. And now I've seen it evolve for the last 10 years. So even up until a few weeks ago, I was still dead set on traditional publishing. And would I still love to be traditionally published? Yes, absolutely. So my plan as of now is to do those Project Camp revisions, query for a set number of months, and then transition into self-publishing. I am not going to query hundreds of agents and spend years of my life pursuing this dream that more and more each day I see as something that's kind of fleeting. I am obviously not an expert. I don't have a foot in the literary world in a publishing sense, but just the things that I'm seeing happening to various publishing houses, to various traditionally published authors, I don't see traditional publishing as being sustainable long term. I really feel like at some point a switch is gonna get flipped and people are going to be self-publishing in droves and traditional publishing is just going to sort of slowly die off. I could be totally wrong. Again, I am not an expert on publishing. I'm not an expert on, you know, the literary world by any means, but I just feel like that's sort of an eventuality at this point. And why am I letting my spirit be broken and my dream be crushed by people who may not even be in the industry 2 years from now, when I could just do it myself? I also am super type A, kind of a control freak. I'm really trying to work on it. But the idea of giving up control of my edits, of my cover, of my title, of my schedule, like all these things, is also kind of frightening to me, and it makes me wonder why I didn't come to the realization that self-publishing would be better for me sooner. So as I said, once Project Camp is revised, I am gonna throw it back out into the trenches just for a little bit. I might just do like 1 3-month round. I might do like a 2-round 6-month time period, but I'm not spending any more than 6 months on this. I've already spent, I think it was about 5, as I said, and I just don't want to waste months and years of my life when I could literally have this book cover designed and start marketing this project and have it out in the world in like a matter of weeks, honestly, if I found the right cover designer that had an opening in their schedule. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't need to be a process that takes years to get a book on the shelf. So the most important thing to me at this point is that people can read the story, is that people can find my book, even if that's only online and not in a bookstore, which would be tragic and heartbreaking to me. But I do know that indie stores are really great about shelving local authors. So I do feel like I will be able to see it in a bookstore, even if I'm self-published. But the important thing is that people get to read it. Otherwise, what has all this work been for, right? I don't want to keep myself trapped in this mindset of traditional publishing is the only way to be a real author, because that's bullshit. And I so admire all my friends and all the people I know on AuthorTube and whatever that are pursuing the other route. Self-publishing is hard work. I would argue it's probably harder work than traditional publishing. And you guys are all rocking it. So just because I sort of have that mindset, it is not a reflection in any way on any self-published or indie author. I think you guys are amazing. I think it's so cool that I can buy your books and read them. Like, that's, again, that's the point, right? That is the fucking point. So this is my update. Was there anything else I wanted to say? I don't know. It has been so long since I've done this. I did film the other day for a few minutes an unboxing video of the Books Pama 2 that I just got. I did put the unboxing on TikTok and my Instagram reels. You can find those linked down below. But I'm gonna combine the YouTube footage with my actual review that's gonna come out in like 2 or so weeks. Just because the footage is so short on its own. So if you're looking forward to that, that will be in with the review, and that'll be coming soon. I have some other videos coming soon. Do you wanna know what they are? Let me just remind myself, because, you know, my brain doesn't work very well these days with all my health stuff that I have going on. So let me remind myself and you what's coming next. So this life update, the Pama 2 unboxing and review, then I'm gonna do my deep dive into my Project Camp revision plans, and that may turn into like a revision vlog too, perhaps, I'm not sure. I do want to put up a reading vlog with the Books Pama 2, but also with physical books, audiobooks, because I listen and read in all the ways. Definitely a 2025 goals video will be coming the last day of December. And yeah, we'll see where things go from there. I have some other things written down, but we'll see how it all pans out. So I am really excited to be back in this YouTube space. I want to say thank you to my friend Jenny for giving me the inspiration. She is vlogging her life through a very difficult and tumultuous time, and it made me realize that I was being a lazy butt and I should get back to doing what I love and back to this community that I've built over the last couple of years. There are 1,000 of you here, which is so tiny on the scale of YouTube, but I appreciate each and every one of you so much. I'm so glad to be back in this space, and I'm looking forward to getting a jump start on the new year and my goals for 2025 and just coming back to this world. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. I have everything linked down below, and if you want to find me anywhere else, you could do that. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends.